background in mental health. I support people to think about having more, being more and doing more. Now recently I've been running lots of workshops and events where I've been speaking lots more about resilience, and I wanted to talk to you today about that. I want to help you think a little bit about what to fit in your mental fitness kit bag. So I've got my mental fitness kit bag here, and today what I've done is I've unpacked some of the strategies, the tools and the helpful kind of approaches that people have found really useful. So I'm going to share some of that with you today, and what you can see here is that I've got lots of different props to help me do that with you. Having a mental fitness kit bag. Now all that really is about having some resources and tools that work. Now the thing is here, that when I run workshops, my mission is to help people realise that you already have strategies. Now I want to help you understand what you have in your kit bag, and I also want you to have more, because it's always possible to be glasses half full and top it up. So I'm going to share some of these with you today and talk to you a little bit about what I've got here. And this can be about you as a person, you and your family, you and your business, you and your job, you and your life. It can be about anything. So this is about mental fitness kit bag. I'm going to talk to 7 different strategies that are helpful for me. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is, I'd call it all about me. So this is about understanding yourself. Now I've got a book here. It says, "What's your story?" It just so happens that this is one of my all-time favourite books, and it's Good Omens by Terry Pratchett. It's a really great book. What's your story? This is about the concept that we all tell stories about ourselves, and it's how we help the world understand who we are. So when we meet new people, and as we go out into our lives, we'll tell stories about ourselves to explain who we are. And we also tell ourselves a story about who we are. And it's really important that the story that you tell the world and the story that you tell yourself reflects who you want to be. It reflects your strengths and your capabilities. It might also reflect adversity and problems and challenges, but let's just make sure that it's a strength-fueled story that you tell about yourself. And if you don't have a story like that, then we need to help you have one, because it's always possible to reframe an experience to make sure they tell a good story. The next one I want to talk to you about is navigating the way. So we hear people talking all the time about your journey, what's your journey, and we do think about life as a journey. When we're going through life's journey, it's really important that we know how to navigate the way. So here we are, this is all about self-navigation. So I've got my map. As an outdoors girl, I like to go new places, I like to visit places. And so in order to kind of not get lost, and not to get lost in life, we need a roadmap. But we also need to know where it is we're heading. So sometimes what we need to do is, I like to know where my destination is, and sometimes I need my binoculars to do that. So it lets me see ahead, and it lets me to see in lots and lots of detail where it is I'm going and what it's going to look like when I get there. My map is going to tell me how to get to where I want to be. Actually, how do you get to where you want to be if you don't know where you are? So sometimes in life we need a compass. I talk a lot about my internal compass. That thing within me that tells me where I need to be and tells me where I am. And your compass is the thing that tells you about where you're at in life now. So often when I'm coaching people, the first thing we'll do is we'll stop and reset the compass and work out, where are you at in your life now? Because once you understand where you're at, it really helps you work out if this is where you want to be. But it also helps you think a little bit about where you want to go next. And it helps you focus on how you got to where you're at. So something about goal setting, knowing where you're headed, navigating the way, but also having milestones to tell you that you're on track in your journey, because sometimes a journey or a goal or a plan can feel really, really big. And what's important is to break it down into bite-sized chunks, so small milestones to let you know that you're at the first place on your journey can be really, really valuable. So that's number 2, navigating the way. Small wins and big impact. So I've got here, I've got a boxing glove. Boxing gloves are things that we use to punch. So when you're using a boxing glove, you can make a really big impact. So this is really, really valuable. Interestingly for me, things like boxing and things that involve cardio fitness really help me to stress bust. So whenever I'm really stressed out, whenever my stress vulnerability bucket's getting full, I need to do a cardiovascular workout, and it needs to involve sweating, and it needs to involve a bit of impact. So recognise what's happening and really recognise the small wins that we are achieving all along the way, because it can be very, very motivating. Small wins. And what we do is we take out our metaphorical magnifying glass and we concentrate on anything that they've achieved that's been valuable to them, and we focus on lots and lots of detail on what worked, what made a difference, what helped, and how were you able to do that. So sometimes when we're trying to make a big impact, we have to remember to focus on the small wins and actually to celebrate. So we've got our celebrations here, but we have to remember that when we're trying to go far and reach big and get to new places, we have to celebrate the little wins along the way on the journey to keep us motivated and to keep us focused. Okay, next thing I want to talk to you about is self-preservation. So, okay, this self-preservation can be about protecting yourself. So I think we all recognise that life can bring fire obstacles at us, and sometimes we have to have a real bounce back ability to protect ourselves. And so, you know, we have to work out what we need for that protection. So as a cyclist, this is what I wear on my head when I'm out on my bike. It's not a good look, but it does help me stay safe. It keeps my head on my shoulders. But we have to protect ourselves, and we know that life throws things at us that can be challenging, that can cause damage, that can cause harm. And so sometimes what we have to do is we have to have that protection. So the question really is, what helps you have that protection and that bounce back ability when it feels like life's throwing obstacles at you? What do you need so that if you fall down 8 times, you can get back up 9 times? And it's a question to you to really think about what helps. I know for me, it's about and it's a question to you to really think about what helps. I know for me, it's about compartmentalising and parking up what I can't control. I also know that it's about rallying a team of people that can support me and boost me. So I mentioned control, so I've got my bouncy ball. You can interpret this in different ways, but for me, when I've got the ball in my hand, the ball's in my control. I can decide what to do next. So I can throw the ball to you, you'll have the ball and you'll have the control, and then you get to decide. But what I'm suggesting to you is that it's really, really important for self-preservation that you are clear about being as in control as you can of things in your life that are important, that you need to keep control of. And sometimes throwing a ball to someone else is about being part of a team. So team sports require us to throw the ball sometimes, and so maybe sometimes you need to throw the ball to someone else and have them in your team. Traffic lights here as well, so this is obviously a little bit of a homemade effort. I hope you like it. But this is red, amber and green. And sometimes we have to think about how we can apply something like this to life. So when I'm green, I'm go, go, go. I'm really enjoying life to the full. I need to understand, and you do too, what are the things that are happening in your life that help you be at green? When you're in full pedal and full throttle, what is it that you're doing that helps you be in that place? Understanding what helps you be in green is really important. And what does it look like? Also, we get amber, so when we're in a car and we hit amber, it means get ready to stop, and it means get ready to start. So when we're hitting amber, it's a bit of a slow down moment. When I'm coaching people, often we'll look at resilience, we'll create a resilience action plan, and we'll use a bit of a traffic light system. And what we're trying to do is work out what it looks like when you're green, what it looks like when you're amber, and actually let's avoid red, because red means stop. Red means danger as well, doesn't it? So we want to have you in green as much as possible, but we want to help you to recognise when you're at risk of being in amber. That means slow down, and that you'll have different action points you'll look differently at an amber, you'll behave differently, and what you're capable of achieving at an amber is different too. So whilst we want you to avoid it, the reality is that sometimes in life we are amber, and we want you to know when you're there. We want you to be kinder to yourself. We want you to do more self-soothing. We want you to cut yourself some slack and to give yourself permission to go slow. But resilience action planning can be a really lovely way to create some action points around a traffic light system to really help you with that. Okay, next is about taking action. So motivation can get in the way for us all. And whether it's about your business, your personal life, your health, you know, we all want to have that motivation that lets us get what we need, but sometimes that can be difficult. So we have a rocket, so a rocket's launched to the moon, which is wonderful, and they go and they blast and they boost up high and there's no stopping them. So whilst we all want that, what actually helps you have that? What helps you have it? Do spend a lot of time talking to people about what helps you boost your motivation to get action and to turn an idea into reality. For me, I already know that I often need working in a team boosts my motivation, being part of a bigger plan together. I know that routine and habits help me to keep doing things that are important. So habits that are going to take me towards focusing on that one thing that's going to achieve the goal I want. I also know that having accountability helps. So actually telling people what I want to achieve, whether it's about an exercise goal or a work goal, having someone hold me accountable. So in my business, I'm part of mastermind groups. I'm in one really good mastermind group in particular, and it absolutely is the space where people will challenge me and help me think about how to boost my motivation. And on top of that, they're also going to help me really be accountable for whether or not I'm doing what I set out to do. And they're really good at calling me on my bullshit when I'm making things up and holding myself back. Here we are as well. This is a band that was given by a physiotherapist when I was having some treatment for my shoulder. And what I had to do was I had to use this to stretch and increase my range of movement. But I had to use this to stretch my shoulder. Now, so this is about stretching, and it feels really uncomfortable to do this right now. And actually, in life, stretching ourselves out of our comfort zone is really uncomfortable, but it's where we make action happen. So when things feel uncomfortable, if we decide that it feels unpleasant and we want to stop, then you'll stay where you are, and that's okay. Maybe that's where you need to be. And there's times in life where it is important just to stop. But if you do want to create action and you want to create change, then it does mean getting uncomfortable, because if it doesn't challenge you, it doesn't change you. And so sometimes we have to stretch, and in that space where we've created a stretch, you grow into that, you strengthen, and you're able to do more. So what is it that you need to do to improve your range of movement or build your flexibility in terms of your resilience? Where do you need to get uncomfortable in order to be able to have more or be more or do more? And that's something that I really want you to have a little bit to think about. Okay, moving forward, so it's time to finish up. Number 6. Okay, I'm going to call this clearing the way and making space for new growth. I really want to call it making space for new growth. I really want to call it clearing the crap, but apparently that's not very professional, so I won't. So here we are. I've got a few strategies. I want to talk really briefly about spring cleaning your thoughts. So this morning I was coaching a young chap, and we recognised that one of the barriers for him around his resilience is that sometimes he allows his head to be full of beliefs and ideas and messages that really hold him back and create lots of limiting beliefs. And what we recognised is he needed a good spring clean, because a lot of the thoughts and beliefs in his head are simply not true. So just because you think something doesn't make it a fact, it's an opinion. If you make it a fact, it will hold you back. But sometimes we've got to recognise that it's only an opinion, and if it's not an opinion that's helping you go forward with what you want or need in your life, and if it's not opinion that's helping you feel that you've got a strong and powerful story, when we talked about stories, then you need a spring clean. So my invite to you is to stop and have a little spring clean in your mind and work out if there's any cobwebs there that need to be cleared, or any beliefs and ideas or messages that you tell yourself. And it might be things that you've been told growing up. It might be things that you believe because of something that happened, but sometimes if they're not helping you, you need to let go and clear them out. In terms of clearing out, I brought my secateurs because something that sometimes you have to cut back the dead growth because it makes space for new growth. I want to talk to you about the good old bucket. Spoiler alert, sweary words here. So this kind of makes people laugh a little bit when you talk about it because this is a sweary word. It's not mine, I stole it. I'm not sure who from. I heard somebody talking about it once and I decided I wanted one. Bucket is basically a way to compartmentalise. And if you don't know what compartmentalising means, sometimes we have to take something that's not helpful to us anymore. It could be a person, it could be an event, it could be an unhelpful story, it could be anything that's holding you back. And what we have to do is we have to put it somewhere because it doesn't belong in your life now, and that perhaps by keeping it present in your life it's holding you back. So the bucket is the perfect place to park up things that you don't need anymore, and they can stay here, and every now and then I recommend that you clear it out. I realise that just by saying the bucket doesn't mean that all of a sudden it's an easy thing to do. I recognise that there's a process that will help you park up things that you don't need and put them somewhere else. But that's a coaching conversation, and if you need any help to think about that, then you can call on me for that. And secondly, the shit file, and I saved this specifically for people. This is the place where, I don't think any of you are in it, but it is the place where I put people who are, I'm finding that my interactions with them, or the way in which they're part of my life, or the way in which they communicate with me is not helping me anymore. And I put them in the shit file, and you know what? Sometimes I like to tell them that they're in the shit file too. And sometimes they think it's a joke, because if you say things with a smile on your face, people think you're joking. But I have used my both of these strategies really help me to park up and what I don't need is people. Now, whether you're extroverted or introverted, having people in your life matters. No man is an island is a quote that I remember from a long time ago, but it's true. We all need people. And connectedness, people matter to me. So this is my little address book. The people in this book are the people that really matter in my life. And connecting with these people is something that really helps me to be resilient. Because when I connect with the people that matter, they acknowledge me and they validate me and they support me. They help me not take myself too seriously. They tell me when I'm bullshitting and making stuff up, and they cheerlead me to do all the things I want to do in my life. They know what matters and they want me to have more. You don't have to have 5 billion people in your life, but you do need to have a team. It could be 2 people. I recommend 5, but make sure there are people that add value in your life. Research suggests that meaningful connections in your life is directly related, can you believe it, to your mortality. So people who have meaningful connections live longer, and there is a fabulous TED Talk on that if you want to look it up. But really just to say that my best hopes for you is that you'll take away from this what you need to, and just continue to think as much as you can in your life about being resilient and being mentally fit, because we think about our muscles and we think about our strength, but your mental fitness really matters too. Now, each and every one of these approaches and these strategies are a coaching workshop in their own right. So I've been Polly Brennan from Adventurous Coaching. I hope you go away and think a little bit more, and I'd love you to share with me what you discovered, or what's on your mind more, or an action point you're going to take forward. So I'm signing out now. Thank you for listening.